What's up, guys? So I talk to a lot of people about their personal finances daily, and I had a conversation with someone that really just kind of shocked me, to be very honest with you. First, it was shock, and then it was sort of anger that some people even think like this. So I kind of wanted to talk about what this conversation entailed, and then how you can sort of change your thought process around it if you think similarly, or even if you don't and you're trying to start with your personal finances and you don't know what to do, this video is for you as well. So when I talk to people about their personal finances, I like to dig in a little bit and figure out like what they're trying to get to, what their problem is, etc. So I'll ask people what the financial goal is, how they have been trying to get there so far, what's been the struggle of trying to get there. And a lot of times people's financial goals are to become debt-free or to become financially free. And they're sort of like broad in general, which is fine. Like if you're first starting out, it's fine to have a broad financial goal. For context, I would try to quantify those goals. I would try to have either a time frame for those goals, a monetary value around those goals, or ideally both, right? So that's just a quick little nugget there for you. But I was talking to this one person and I was like, yeah, so like, what's your financial goal? And he's like, oh, I've hit all my financial goals. I was like, you hit all your financial goals, really? And he's like, yeah. I was like, oh, wow. So you're like the richest person in the world? Like, what's going on here? He's like, well, no. And then when you dig in a little bit, he's like, oh, I have, $43,000 worth of debt. So I was like, so you have not reached all your financial goals because you are still in debt. And being in debt is not a financial goal. And so I was like, okay, this guy's full of it, right? So I keep digging a little deeper and I'm like, okay, but like, are you trying to pay down your debt? Like how have you been trying to get out of this? And he's like, yeah, I pay my bills regularly and everything's good. Like I'm paying my bills, everything's good. And I was like, oh, okay. Are you budgeting your finances? And he's like, well, no, I don't need to do that. And I literally almost fell over when he said that. I was like, you don't need to budget your finances. You have $43,000 in debt and you don't need to budget your finances. You don't think that's a problem? Like, for all of you guys watching this, like, tracking your finances is the most important thing to do. It's the most important thing to do. It's the step one of what you need to do for your personal finances. It helps you with any financial goal. You can't create a financial goal without knowing the starting point. And the starting point is tracking your finances so you understand where you currently stand and what is currently feasible and what you can do to sort of change the environment that you're in, right, with your personal finances. Yeah, this thought process was like really just pissed me off. And I think this is why people are poor. They just think that what they're doing is working and it's fine. But this guy is making like barely above minimum payments for his debt and he's not budgeting his finances. Like if he were to budget, I can guarantee he would be able to find certain amount of dollars every month. I don't really know yet because again, he's refusing to not budget. So it's like, I can't help you if you're not willing to like do step one. I can't help you. So I haven't seen his budget, but it's likely that most people can find $50, $100, $500 a month. Like everyone can find something. And that's the best part about budgeting. But I think the reason why people don't like budgeting, and there's this like negative connotation around budgeting, it's because people think that creating a budget automatically restricts them from living the life that they want to live. And, like Dave Ramsey talks about all the time, like, go on rice and beans and you can't do anything and sit on your couch doing nothing. It's like, that's not always the case. Like budgeting isn't about restriction, it's about intentionality, okay? Like being intentional with your finances is why we budget. It's so that we can allocate our money to the most important things in our lives and then figure out the rest of it as it goes. So obviously, like the most important things in most people's lives are their families, the roofs over their heads, maybe their health, and then in a lot of cases, your wealth, right? Like those are the most important things that people should be focusing on. And so building a budget isn't saying like, oh, I need to stop going to the gym now because I'm budgeting and I need to save my $25 a month. Like that's not what this is about. Like if fitness is important to you, for example, you go to that gym and you know what? Instead of just going to the gym, why don't you sign up for more classes to keep yourself accountable? Things like that. Like sometimes a budget is, I need to actually be spending more in this area because I care about it so much, and I can find other areas in my life that I can save the $50 a week or month, whatever the thing is for this fitness class, right? Just as the example. But please just don't be like this guy. Please don't be stubborn about budgeting your finances. Please. Other people that I talk to, they're like, oh yeah, I really want this, like, I really want to have like 6 income streams, and I really want like a quick hitting, like, how do I get rich quick? And they're trying to build like the 3rd and 4th floors of their building, but they haven't even built the foundation yet. And let me tell you, like, that's not going to work. You can't build the 3rd and 4th floors without a foundation. I'm not an expert in this topic, but I'm going to assume that you can't do that. We can't have floating buildings. That hasn't existed yet. Maybe in the future, but not now, right? So we need to build the foundation first. So if you have debt, guess what? You have not reached all your financial goals. If you still rely on your 9-to-5 paycheck for your living, guess what? You have not reached all your financial goals. And nothing against 9-to-5 jobs. I currently have one myself, but I'm trying to get out of that by doing the things that I'm currently doing, and I have certain financial goals around that. Because once I stop creating financial goals, then I've stopped growing. And once you stop growing, you've just like given up. And too many people are just giving up. They just don't understand how to create financial goals. They don't want to create financial goals. They think that their life now is fine, but then they complain about the issues that their life brings them. And it all stems around being more intentional with your finances, like creating a budget. Wow, like, it's not rocket science, guys. It's not rocket science. Step 1, create a budget. Step 2, make a plan around that budget. Step 3, adjust that plan. And then step 4, move on to another financial goal. Like, I've just completely simplified that, but that's basically it. Yeah, and I just get so passionate about this because, again, I make these videos because too many people are poor and they don't know how to not be poor, and I want people to stop being poor. Like, that's the goal of this. So if any of this resonated with you, like, please, like, make a change. Track your finances, budget. It's not restrictive, it's being intentional. And if you're not debt-free, then you need to work really, really hard to become debt-free. Because debt is essentially building someone else's wealth. You're paying interest on something that you purchased, and you're building someone else's wealth. You know what's much more powerful is when you're growing your own interest and building your own wealth. And it flips on its head. Once you have debt, and once you go from not having debt and now you're building your own interest, it's powerful. And I would know because my wife and I, we've paid off $43,000 of debt in just about a year, and now we have a $1 million net worth. And it's because we took the basic, simple steps that many people just aren't willing to do, or maybe don't know how to do, which is fine. If you don't know how to do it, that's one thing. But if you don't want to do it, then no one's gonna help you. Like, you have to help yourself. So guys, that was a little quick hitting video. I upload every day onto YouTube in my car about personal finance, mindset, strategy, motivation, whatever you guys need. So drop a comment. Let me know if this video was helpful for you, and I'll see you in the next one.